dial tonight, you're just going to hear canned, recorded, we're FCC tonight, so I have to be on my best behavior, canned, recorded crap from around the nation, but not here on Rhode Island Free Radio and 1320 WARA. We are live and local. We'll be with you until 2016. That's right. We'll be with you until the new year takes place. Now, I forgot to mention, if you'd like to get a hold of us throughout the broadcast, facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, or on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones NRI. Some of your favorite Rhode Island Free Radio personalities with us tonight from 9 to 10 p.m. We'll hear from Chuckles the Clown from Chuckles Crypt. From 10 to 11, we'll hear from DJ Psycho Eddie from My Night Out Radio. And then I'll bring you into the new year right after that. Speaking of the aforementioned Chuckles the Clown, he is here in studio, one of our most popular personalities over at Rhode Island Free Radio, and a big year for your podcast, Chuckles, at rifreeradio.org, because many people think that 2015 was, in fact, the year of the nerds.
2015 is the year of the nerds. It's quickly going by. Good evening to everybody out there, and of course, in front of me, Nurse Misery, and to the right this hour, we're going to have a special guest, Mr. Eddie. You're going to be on Chuckles Crypt for...
Sure. I can lower my standards once in a while.
Lower your standards. You know you're a nerd deep down inside. You stay in the closet about it more than most people.
I do stay in the closet about being a nerd, and I do stuff it down mostly with alcohol bottles. As I empty them, that nerdness goes away.
No.
You could be a nerd about your wines and stuff, though. You know your alcohol well.
I do know my alcohol well, but that would be more of an alcohol snob or a wine snob versus being a nerd. It's all in how you place your pinky. If your pinky is out, you're not a nerd.
We'll be able to get that chance now. Lemmy, we all know, lead singer from Motorhead, passed away. Rest your soul, buddy.
Which took Facebook over to Lemmy Book over the past 3 days.
It actually knocked Star Wars out.
Yeah, yep.
Well, it deserves so, because he was a rock and roll legend, and it's sad to see him pass. But at the top of an hour, I got some good news for you folks, and we'll bring that up to you. Some good rock and roll news instead of the sad, and I think Chuckles Crypt Monday will be playing Motorhead to pay tribute to Mr. Lemmy there. I really wanted to go to that Mayhem Fest when he was showing up, but I said he'll be around again, and I'll be able to see him again. Well, that chance did not come.
That's what I'm facing with Black Sabbath, because they're coming around what is supposed to be their last tour, and prices for the tickets, a little bit more than I'd like to pay, but you never, when musicians, especially ones that have been on the road for years, get to that age, you never know when it's going to be your last chance.
Yeah.
Speaking about haunting, and in typical rock and roll icon legend, just like the Ultimate Warrior when he passed and he said something about it in an interview, Lemmy also spoke of haunting people in an interview with Germany. Go up there, check it out. It's pretty cool. It's up on Rock Legends, and it says in a final interview, Lemmy says he could haunt us, just like I pretend to do. What do we have up for music, Mr. Jones?
Well, we're going to hear, this is a very fitting track for New Year's Eve, because the band that we're going to play next, these guys love to drink. I can't explain it any other way. These guys just, if you've seen them live or when we've had them in studio or we've had them in other studios where you're not supposed to be drinking, these guys couldn't even control themselves. They would go out to the bathroom and pound a beer and come back in. We're going to hear from the McGunks up next.
Oh, God.
And again, this fits in a perfect segue. This track, Highway to Hell, right here on Tony Jones's Rockin' New Year's Eve broadcast on Rhode Island Free Radio and 1320 AM WARA.
Gonna have me ever after. That's when I begin.
Slow, Hard, and Steady, the name of that one. It's some Blindside Thunder right here on Tony Jones's Rockin' New Year's Eve broadcast. Before that, yes, a band that just, they love the alcoholic beverages. We heard from the McGunks, Halfway to Hell, the name of that one. You are tuned in to Rhode Island Free Radio, online at rifreeradio.org or over the airwaves on AM 1320 WARA. We'll be with you until the new year. Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. I'd love to hear from you throughout the broadcast. This hour, Chuckles the Clown from Chuckles Crypt right on over on Rhode Island Free Radio. Go to rifreeradio.org. Up on the top, you'll see shows, and you can pull down this man's podcast if you're listening over the air and you haven't heard of Chuckles Crypt. Well, tell everybody, Chuckles, out there, they're hearing about you for the first time. What exactly is Chuckles Crypt?
Cover your children's virgin ears, because no. That's later. That's the haunted cabaret if they were here. George, we miss you. I know you're out there working. But Chuckles Crypt is all things pop culture, mostly comic books, and yes, the nerds. Nerds have it. 2015.
Nerds are dying to get in.
Yeah, that's right. The nerds are dying to get in. In 2016, the nerds are in because the movies are even bigger. And you would say that 2015... it put out some big-name movies, and not just Star Wars. And I know Star Wars was clouding everybody's mind because it wasn't...
It's the most recent, and it was honestly the biggest thing ever.
It was huge, and it was an excellent movie. But there were other movies during 2015 that were just as good, and thankfully... they released them earlier on in the season, because if they had released any of these around Star Wars, you wouldn't have even known they were there.
I think you talked about it on your show, but Alvin and the Chipmunks 4 coming out the same day as Star Wars.
That's
like, why even? Why?
Because if you miss the Star Wars and you don't have tickets to get in there, that's the second chance. You can go watch Alvin and the Chipmunks, and guaranteed your kids are going to hate you after that one. Oh, man.
I think that falls into the whole political correctness and the wussification of the country.
True.
Where if Star Wars, you think Star Wars is too intense for your kids, and if you do think that, you probably should be beaten the head with a ball-peen hammer. But if you think that and you wanted to do something on Christmas night, let's find the most obscenely PG or G show I could find, which would be Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I mean, Hollywood, if you're listening, and chances are you're not, how are we 4 deep into the Alvin and the Chipmunks franchise?
Really? And there's a cartoon show of it on Netflix, and it is very terrifying. And this is coming from me.
Yeah, I did make him watch it.
The animation style of this is creepy. What kid would like this crap?
You have to remember, the whole Alvin and the Chipmunks fiasco, a whole concept started with a band that was not making any money.
Oh, kind of like the Monkees.
Well, similar.
Kind of like every band we know.
Well, Ross Bagdasarian was in a band called Canned Heat. Does that sound familiar?
No.
That's why they turned around. They played their voices at double or 2.5 times normal speed, which made them the higher register, sounding like a chipmunk. So they sang slower, played it, and they synced it to the music, and that's how they came up with the concept of Alvin and the Chipmunks. They did the Christmas album with the hula hoop song that everyone hears.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
And Canned Heat made money.
Yeah.
Well, good for Canned Heat for finding a way to earn some cash. But
can you stop these franchises, please, out there? I mean, it's getting really bad. But 2015, nevertheless, a great year of movies. And I'll start off with one of my favorites. And I love this movie to the point where I've seen it so many times. I've memorized what little dialogue there is.
And which movie is that?
Mad Max, Road to Fury. Nice. That movie was incredible. And if Star Wars did not come out, I think that would have been movie of the year.
And that was one of the few remakes that I saw actually get a little bit of respect.
But on the same sense, Mr. Jones, it's not a remake.
Yeah.
It's just another
It's another story, which we were all fearing that they were going to remake the series because God knows, like, no one has an original idea in their mind.
We're remaked out.
Yeah,
Yes.
So it's like, oh no, they're going to remake one of the 80s best flipping movies. And how are they going to make that better? Well, the guy said, well, we're not going to remake it. We're going to give you a new franchise with 2 more on the way that they're working on. And if you have not seen that movie, do so. The stunts in that thing from the vehicles were incredible. And you can't see it all in one shot because it's moving so quickly you have to put it in again.
And there's not a lot of CGI. They actually built out some of those
Yeah.
vehicles, right?
No,
That's
Most of it's
insane.
all practical.
All the vehicles are practicals. There are a couple CGI areas in there, but they mix them very well. All the stunts are practical.
Well, some
All-
of those explosions are too big to be like
This is Hollywood.
done in
That's
Hollywood.
Blues Brothers
Dude,
style right there.
this is Hollywood. What are you talking about? If it's one thing
There
Hollywood
would be
knows,
a massive crater in the hole. Some of it had to be CG.
if
That's
Hollywood,
what they made diesel fuel and kerosene
Yeah.
for.
if it's one thing Hollywood knows how to do is blow up things. Look at Michael Bay, the worst guy to ever hit movies, but
but
yet he
man,
knows
can he play with fire?
he can blow up some stuff. Speaking about blow